Hi there, welcome back to Survival Sealab. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a cursory look at fish breeding and see what's involved in the Mariculture Mod for that. And then we're going to get started on our very first building for underwater laboratory. So, should be pretty cool. Let's get started here. Alright, so as I mentioned, we're going to be doing a little bit of exploration of the fish breeding mod, Mariculture. But I don't think we're going to get super in-depth in it just yet, because there's quite a lot involved in it. So maybe next episode we'll be digging deeper into it, but looking at the fish and breeding book, we're going to need to build a lot of different things. There's a sifter, which allows us to get bait. We'll need to make some fishing rods as well. So I've already made this bamboo fishing rod, which uses all these different kinds of bait right here. You can use raw fish. So we need to make actually a vanilla fishing rod initially to get really started here. So let's make a vanilla fishing rod quick, and then we'll head up to the water here and see what we can catch. We're not going to be able to catch anything except vanilla fish at the moment. But once we have some fish, we can actually use those as bait and then catch bigger and better things. So let's just cast off the end of our dock here and see what we can catch. Nice long cast out there. Just give it a moment. Wait for that bobber to dip down. Waiting's the hardest part when you're fishing. Anything could happen at any time. Who knows when the fish will strike? Or at all. Maybe they're not gonna come. Come on, fishes. Oh, there we go. We got one. All right, great. So we got one fish here. Let's get a couple more, and then we'll be able to start our Mariculture mod here. Oh, there's another one. Perfect. Okay, so we got two fish now. So we should be able to do everything we need to do. We need to make a sifter is the next step here. So let's take a look at the recipe guide to see what is entailed in making a sifter. I know it's going to require some sugarcane. Let's do a sifter. Not a sifter, a shifter. A sifter. There we go. Mariculture sifter. All right, so we need wood, a fishing net, and some sticks. A fishing net is string and sticks. Okay, so we have to get more sticks, which I already have a ton made of, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's just grab all of those. And I have some string on my hotbar. I do not. Let's grab some more string. Let's grab that. Okay, so let's see here. So fishing net was sticks in a pattern like thus. And nets. All right, cool. That makes 4 nets. So that's pretty great. And then we need 2 pieces of wood and 2 pieces of sticks. So let's grab a couple pieces of wood here. Let's just make this into wood. All right, and that should be plenty. And a couple sticks. And we got our first sifter. Okay, so I believe we can throw something like dirt into it, and it'll actually sift out little grubs out of the dirt. Let's just pop this down on the ground here. Let's put it right here. And we'll throw some dirt into it. There we go. Okay, cool. We got all kinds of stuff. We got ant bait and bait worm. Cool. So now we can go back and grab our bamboo fishing rod, which is just, it's actually just sugar cane with some string, just like a normal fishing rod would be. But it's actually not just the vanilla one here. So it actually uses bait. So where did I put that thing? I had it. Did I not have it? It's missing at the moment. Ah, here it is. I had it over in here. So it says to hold shift, you can use ant bait, maggot bait, raw fish bait. So we can't use this worm bait yet. That'll be for later ones here. So let's put this both in our hotbar. And now we'll head back out of the water here. And I think it said to, let's see. I think we just hit shift maybe? Or we just cast it and it uses it. Oh, it just cast it and it casts the bait along with it. Oh, we already got something. Did we get something? We didn't catch anything, but it dipped down there for sure. Maybe the fishing is a little bit different in the Mariculture one. There we go. Nope, it's just bobbing. All right, let's try it again another time here. Let's really wait for a good bite. It's going. It's going. Come on. Oh, nope, nothing. All right. These fish are not biting for us. There we go. We didn't get it. Okay. Let's take a look at our book here quick. Maybe we're doing something wrong. There we go. What did we get? Just a vanilla fish. Oh, well, that's no good. Let's try it again here. Hopefully we get something cooler than just a vanilla fish here. Oh, we're not having any luck getting any fish here. Let's take another look. They're just not biting for us today. It's unfortunate. Let's try over here. Maybe we can get out of the biome that we're in and into the ocean biome up there if we can. For some different kinds of fish. Okay, we got a great fish now. We got a damselfish. That's fantastic. We need one more fish. This is a female version. We need one more fish in order to make breeding. So let's grab well, hopefully we'll keep fishing here. Hopefully we can catch a male fish. Can I use this as bait? It doesn't look like it'll let me. Nope, it will not. So we need to get more of this ant bait, and hopefully we can catch another damselfish or something else similar. And then we can start our fish breeding. We caught a raw squid. Now I don't think raw squid is gonna let us breed with anything. It's just gonna be used for food, I believe. Let's check uses on it. Yeah, we can use it for crafting recipes. We can actually use it to make our mechanized sponge, but other than that, it's not useful for anything else. So mostly just a crafting recipe. So we need to catch a live squid, not just a dead squid. So let's keep fishing here, and maybe we'll catch something cool. Alright, so we got another fish. We got a minnow, and he's a male minnow. I think we can use him to breed with. Let's just take a look here quick. Minnow and a damselfish, perhaps? No, not creating anything cool. But he does create a byproduct of water droplets. Alright, so I don't think the minnow's going to breed with anything we have just yet. We only have the damselfish so far. So let's catch another couple fish here, and maybe we can find something that's going to produce what we need it to produce. We're getting closer, though. Alright, night is falling. We still haven't caught a second fish yet. Well, we caught that minnow, but not the a second male fish that'll let us breed with a damselfish. So we're going to keep trying here. If all else fails, we'll go back in the house and build other things to help our fish breeding efforts. There we go. What did we get? We got a raw minnow. Oh, that's too bad. Alright, let's keep going here and see if we can't catch something a little bit better. We could just grab one of these squids. That'd be perfect. Maybe I can hit one of them with the hook and just hook it in. Nope, no such luck. Okay, we caught a second fish, a raw cod. Unfortunately, it's dead. We did not catch it with the rod to make it alive, unfortunately. So we have to keep fishing here until we get the live versions of the fish. Seems like it's pretty rare, actually, to catch fish that are alive, unfortunately. Let's see what we caught here. A raw stingray. Oh my god, we're getting so many raw fish, but nothing that's live. We only caught one live fish and one minnow so far. And a bone. We're not doing so great here. What did we grab that time? We got a stick. That's not very useful. And more raw cod. Oh, man, we're up to our neck in cod here. We're gonna have a nice Friday fish fry here in a minute. Rotten flesh. Man, we're catching a bunch of junk here. And we caught a female minnow. Now this will work for us. We have a male minnow, we have a female minnow. I believe these will breed together. They won't create any new species, but they should produce just a normal minnow for us inside of a hatchery. So now we have two species that are the same that'll work together. We should be able to produce new products. They won't create any new types of fish for us because they're not combining species, but that's okay. We're not really necessarily looking for that just yet. We're not relying on this as part of our overall production strategy. We're looking at this just to catch a couple water droplets to make our mechanized sponge. Alright, so now that our pack is just chock full of fish, let's dump off some of our random crap here. Alright, so we can make, next we need to make a fish feeder, and this is going to involve two fish. I don't think they need to be alive, and some wicker. Wicker is made using reeds, which I think we have a few of at least. Someplace, hopefully. Otherwise I can chop down to some. Alright, let's see how many reeds we need here. Alright, we need a few more sugar cane. Let's grab some from out here if we can. Oh, looks like enough has grown that we might be able to do this. Alright, so we don't have quite enough sugar cane to do this. We can wait for some to grow. I'm gonna go on an expedition and see if I can find any more floating around here while we're waiting. So let's hang on a second and then we'll be right back with finding some more, or making some more wicker for our fish feeder. Alright, so we have just enough sugar cane to get going on these last couple wickers we need. So let's grab the recipe for that. And 1, 2. Alright, so we have 6. And now we can make these need a raw fish, so I don't want to accidentally use up my minnows here, so I'm going to do it by hand instead of using the NEI. And that will make a fish feeder. Okay, so I believe the way these work is you need to fill them with fish food. Now fish food is easily crafted from raw fish. We can use this raw cod here actually. And just place in the crafting bench and it makes fish meal. Awesome, so we have 8 fish meal. It's getting dark here, so let's take a sleep here, and then I will lay down this fish feeder out in a pond here in a moment. Alright, so we got the fish feeder ready to go now. We have our fish in hand. Oh, didn't mean to do that. We have our fish in hand, or 2 minnows here, and these should produce what we need, which is water droplets to make our mechanized sponge. So there's a little pond over here I know of. Yes, this will work nicely, I think. So let's put the fish feeder inside of it, and I think this should be okay. And let's put the couple fish in there. Male, that's, yeah, male, female, and it's unsuitable environment. All right, so one of our fish is not happy. Needs a, let's see, why is it not happy? We need fish food. Fish food, and it's unsuitable environment. Okay, so now it's produced, our fish food is filling up, and they're actually breeding together. And we should have a byproduct here soon. All right, so that's just great. We've got our fish breeding here. It'll take a little while to actually produce some products from them, as these fish have to die off first. But once they do, we should have some water droplets, hopefully, or we need to breed them back together in order to get them. I'm not quite sure how that works, but next episode we'll explore that. So for now, let's actually go build our first underwater structure. I'm so excited to get started on this. I can't wait to see what we can do. So let's get underneath the water there. I'm gonna drop off all my stuff and meet you out at the dock. All right, so we're back on our speedboat heading out to our dock, our Sealab Site 1, our very first building, a first of many, hopefully. So let's get going on this thing. I got tons of materials in this chest right here. We've got stone, limestone, all kinds of glass. It should be pretty good. So I'm gonna grab what I need here, and we'll meet you down there. All right, so as you can see here, the building's kind of partially underway here already. Unfortunately, I forgot to record the very first few blocks here. So what I did here is just lay down a guide in a cross pattern, and then started using a circle guide from the web to start building up. The dimensions for the circle are 12 radius, so it's going to be 25 blocks total, and then the structure's going to be 9 blocks tall, I think. And so that'll have plenty of rooms for doors and windows and whatever else we want to do on it. Should be pretty good. For the walls, I checked out lots of different textures from the chisel mod, but I ended up going back to just the plain old vanilla stone bricks. The stone brick is a really good block because it looks good in large quantities, and it's kind of actually a little boring. And what that means is that the accents you do are going to stand out a little bit more because you're using such a boring brick generally. So a lot of the blocks from the chisel mod I found work better as accents than they do as just standard large quantities in the structure. For the floor of the building here, I used limestone, and that's going to be used again in other parts of the building as well, but not this particular texture. I used limestone that's in a French tile for the floor here. I'm probably going to change that down the road, but it's just kind of a good placeholder, so we have something there at least. But as we start working on the interior, I'll do something else with that, I think. The little holes you're seeing there are little glowstone micro blocks I left behind. You don't have to worry about them. I just left down some light there, and I'm going to go back in and fill that in a little bit here. So once the cylinder was completed, I went to the top here and I did a little bit of building a little cobblestone roof on top, just so I have a base to build a dome on. The dome is going to be a glass dome. It's going to be a 9 radius by 9 height. So it's going to be a perfect hemisphere on top of the building here. I considered using the building guide for a moment here from Open Blocks, but it displays an overlay of the dome structure so you can use it as a guide to build around. But for the recording purposes of this, it gets in the way, so I didn't want to use it so you can actually see what's going on. If I was using this, you wouldn't be able to see anything. It's great for when you're on your own, but for recording, I can't use that. So I printed out a pattern from the web in advance, and I'm using that instead for figuring out how to build this dome. For the glass blocks, I went back to the chisel mod, and I used just the standard glass, put it in there, and made this light bordered glass. I chose this glass because it's clear, and it also has a connected texture, which has a slight edge to it. So the end result is a very clean, well-defined look. It's almost its own panel. Each section is its own panel rather than individual blocks. So it looks kind of good, I think. It works pretty well. So when making a dome, it's very easy to make mistakes here. With glass, mistakes are really, really bad because you can't get the glass back unless you're using silk touch or something like that. So I was a little concerned about the glass situation every time I laid a block at the wrong place, but it turns out that we had quite enough from the glass factory, so we did really good there. I just, had to keep building and rebuilding, and then we had enough for the windows down below, and we finished the dome here no problem. So there you have the initial layout for our underwater structure. As you can see, it's just stone and glass right now, so it's a little boring. So we're gonna have to go down below now and add some more details to the exterior, and that'll kind of make it a little bit better, I think. So here the video cuts out a little bit again. I'm in the initial planning stages of what I want to do here, but basically there's vertical beams on the flat panel sections of the base. I'm using limestone again, that same stuff I used on the floor, but now I'm using a large panel texture from the chisel mod. It's important, I think, to use not too many textures when you're building. Keep it simple so it doesn't get too messy. Simpler is usually just better for everything. So I started with a vertical beam on the large flat sections, did another one, and then did a horizontal beam across and a window down below to kind of make some detail to it and have some visibility on the inside to the outside. I wanted kind of like nice big glass windows, nice panel windows from the inside that we can look out and stare at the fish and that kind of thing. So once I had a basic idea of what I wanted to do on the base, I wanted to go up to the dome again now and take a look at this. So I wanted to do something that's kind of like going to contain the dome in. So I did these little blocks going up and down the sides of it on the flat parts here. The most straight areas I can do it on. And that's going to kind of look like a containment for the dome, so it's not just sitting on top, it's actually being contained by these little blocks here. And the blocks themselves, they're just cobblestone from Chisel Mod. It's a great little looking texture from the Chisel Mod actually. And for such a plentiful resource, it's almost too cheap to look this good. But it's just cobblestone, and it's just a nice white block texture built into it too now. So I use that on the things, and that looks pretty good. I might change that to something else down the road if I get something cool, but we'll see what happens. So moving back to the base now, I went around the sides and started replicating our pillar beam window plan here. And then I wanted to do something with the sides, the diagonal parts here as well. So I did the window there as well. As you can see, the beams in the window work really well here. And then I decided to actually take that horizontal beam and make it jut out and make it kind of circle the entire building like a ring. And that's going to kind of like reminisce of like inspired by like a plumbing pipe or something like that, where you have like a nice little like bump in there so you can have a little more texture. It adds a little bit of depth, and that's something we really need in this build, I think. So building underwater kind of presents its own little challenges because you can't really use certain blocks that you'd use on the land. What I mean by that is like upside down stairs, for instance. I use that all the time in my land builds, but here, when you do that, it creates these little rippling pockets of water, which don't look great at all. So you have to kind of avoid like fences, stairs, any kind of half block, any kind of transparent block. You have to avoid those underwater. So it really places a greater importance on texture and using depths of blocks and that kind of thing. So the door here, it's going to be just a placeholder for now. I'm going to do something really cool with that later, have kind of retractable doors, and it'll be kind of cool. But for now, it's just going to be placeholder, and then we'll do something really cool in the future episode. So that's pretty much it. The basics of our building are laid down here. It's gonna be a great start to the Sealab. It's not nearly finished, but it's an important first step, I think. We're gonna go on, refine the style of it, add some more details where we can, work on the interior and the exterior together. It's gonna look really great. All right, so that's gonna do it for this episode of Survival Sealab. I hope you enjoyed it, this first stage of our Sealab build. If you did, please like and share this video. Next episode, we'll be working on fish breeding so that we can get that mechanized sponge I mentioned last episode. And then we can drain the water from the inside of the structure, and we'll be all set to go work on the interior then. Anyways, I've been Modi, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back for more Survival Sealab soon. Have a good night.